We are now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain. No blockade is a match for my piloting skills. Good luck, Captain.
Something on your mind?
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in. Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right? You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic. Us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna and halcyon. Please state your name for the records. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly. We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are Sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago. Oh, sure. They make Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going and the...
The nostalgic stench of home. Can't say I miss the day.
Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda go... Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you... Oh, and if you're headed that... I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next Sublight shipment. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check... I couldn't really say, I'm just a fan. But the fan... Thanks a bunch!
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Yeah.
We're here, light years from Earth, going about our lives.
Every time the punch clock peals, a worker earns his meals.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, I thought you were quoting It's a Wonderful Directorate.
We don't get many outsiders.
I can take a hint.
Laws. Can a man enjoy the smooth menthol flavor of a stone?
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood. So it's getting so I can't tell the blood. But I gotta get in there. Get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every... Right. What are you staring? Wait. Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Well. Let's get down to brass. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You'll have to get me something. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wild... Well, they work.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged. Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review?
Note.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now. What a charming notion. One doesn't meet many free spirits in Alcyon. Not outside. Forgive me, I'd be positively enraptured. Now, there's no need to humor me. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
Exactly what I would have said, if I'd been paying attention.
You talk like Graham.
Freedom always sounds nice, doesn't it? It makes a rather pretty slogan. But if you sit down and tally up the costs, how you provide for yourself in the absence of aid, how you protect yourself from a hostile galaxy, it starts to lose its shine.
Exactly. Intellectualism fuels the train to mankind's future, but the tracks the train runs on are forged from practicality.
What?
Yes, it's as though the good vicar has plucked the very words from my brain.
Indeed. Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored.
On our terms, mind you.
Returning to the board is your only chance if you hope to survive here on Monarch. That doesn't mean it'll...
Indeed not. No worthwhile plan was ever simple.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters...
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in... The plan she referred... With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure...
And you'll have a powerful ally.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely...
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy.
It is... In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons. Do be careful. Oh, and well...
Greetings. And well, what can... You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I told him to stop bothering. I still don't know anything about it. But if you want to help him, they'll... But I'll warn you. Grim war... Not at all. Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or a mantis worm wing. So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't... Sort of the strong... Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And... Would you? Oh. He doesn't talk much, but he's got this plus.
Good to have...
I know what I... So...
Well, well. What can I... All sales are final.
Help! Someone's been killed! I think I'm gonna be... No! I just stepped in a dead man's blood. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the... Now, if you'll excuse me.
What a gruesome way to die.
Not much I can do for this guy.
Easy does it.
Velma seem out of sorts to you? She's always cranky.
Wrapped musk and canid eyes, right here. Hello, stranger. Can I interest you in a wrap? You look like a man who's looking... Huh. I haven't seen her in a few days, but I've been meaning to ask her how that wrapped arm... I hope it's working okay, because no one else really seems interested. Wait, I see what's going on. Don't get me wrong. I'd like to give her a discount. She's a real fine lady. But if I give her one, I won't hardly make a bit, on account of no... You sound pretty sure. Okay.
Have you talked to Sebastian yet? Okay, but how did he say it? Did he sound like... Was he like... Oh, Anyhow.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack box. Sorry. Seems I got my cables crossed. Hope you can forgive my temper. This job. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing. Caleb Herrick runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and He and his whole crew walked out. Say they won't come back unless I... Because we've got a budget, all right? And in case you haven't noticed, MSI doesn't exactly... You mind slapping him around a little while? I'm joking. Mostly. If you can find... Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumor. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living... We're not keen on rules for rules' sake around here. Means Braxton skips work sometimes, but it also means no company boss is telling me when I can take a Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra jugs. Something else. This again? I swear, this is the last time You can tell Grim his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer for that about cover. She runs the betting parlor across the way. She asked me about the poster once. Just once. Damn right. No. I paid Sublight for it. So, it's mine. And when Nell pays me for it, it'll be hers. Grim may have asked for the poster. Sure can. If you want to pay me. Sure. And once you finish help... Fine. Stealing's such a nasty word. And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the sterile biotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton. We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get this all tuna, fat, and mostly tuna. Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has...
you're the new face. Wow. So who do you follow? Wait, don't tell me. You look like a Hammersmith Thunder fan. No? Aren't they just? Most of the time it's static on account of the frequency being clogged up, but sometimes so. Graham's always filling the airwaves with this propaganda. Like it's done. All it means is the tossball games get to us in fragments. Makes them real hard. Poor Isaac. I was wondering why I hadn't. I'd really like to help. Isaac was a sweet fellow, even if he did have. They were pretty distinct. Monarch doesn't exactly have a thriving dental industry, and Isaac seemed to get stuck in all sorts of bad habits. Sometimes he'd drink purpleberry punch by the liter, other times he'd keep betting on a losing team. Started owing the wrong people money. I don't know for sure, but I saw Elijah and his bud. They're hooligans from Fallbrook. They sweep into town, drop supplies off behind the warehouse, and spend the rest of their stay getting rowdy over tossball games. They usually loiter in the alley behind the yacht club. They're not allowed in the bar anymore. I bet you anything Isaac ran into. Mr. Sanjar will be pleased to hear about it when you're done. I know he got.
New face, huh? A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Why don't you grab a chair? Sit. Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. We're untethered, free of responsibility and worldly cares. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall's gone, we're riding high. See, we just walked out on our work. Had enough, we did. So now we're striking. It ain't any one thing but the sum of it all, having to work longer shifts for less bits. And the wages we do earn don't cover as much as they used to. Our supervisor, Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. Velma refuses to negotiate, so we're refusing to work. We won't go back until she agrees to pay us fair and proper. Us on Monarch, we're free from the board, you know? We have the right to lobby for better hours and pay. Sure thing. What did you want to discuss? Not forever, but we've each saved up our bits, and I stashed them safe in my home by the diner. I reckon we could last a week or two at least. Nope. I'm calling her bluff. If she wants to threaten us, we'll see how she likes it when Sanjar finds out she gave Sublight even more dominion in Stellar Bay. I never meant to call for anyone's head on a pike. Velma's not my favorite person, but she ain't been cruel to her. Devil it all. Now you got me feeling sorry for her. Fine. I guess we'll go back to work to save. Tell Velma not to worry. We'll look at.
Smells like rat in here.
Oh, it does work.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but you knocked any Well, that's awful nice. Thanks for your help. You've gotten me out of a tight spot here. Take this for your efforts. Something.
Whatever you do, don't mention Tossball to Ozzy. You'll never hear the end of it.
You know, I haven't seen him in a while. Oh! You startled me. Don't. Braxton. I've never even heard of a Braxton. Got nothing for you.
Dilated pupils, anxious pop. She's high on some.
No! Braxton always has a good stash, and I just like to let loose a little. Stop thinking about the Marauders and the Raptidons out. Oh, damn. He told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick, and he had some. So maybe.
We're in agreement that this Braxton is probably dead, right?
Sir, please. Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong. Like my... Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get him...
It's more dissolved.
That is... Don't you tell me to calm down. I promised my boy I'd protect him for always. He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about the Raptidons, Mantisaurs, and Marauders, the toxic sulfur pools, and poisonous plant. Please, won't... He's been pining for an adventure. I want... He should... He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the Iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boy's run off to Amber Heights. That is, if a Mantiqueen hasn't spooled out and eaten his entrails for breakfast already. Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make it sound so exciting. Like it's noble to risk it all out there, fighting for the greater good. How noble is it to worry your loved ones? Not at all, I say. But still they preach their sermons of anarchy. If they weren't that old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse. Or that he never made it. Sprat. Or... Think you look for him, and if you find...
Hold on to your hats, children. This ride is about to get ugly. Well done. We're still alive. Go!
Down they go!
That's the last of them. I find myself marveling at the complex simplicity of the Fibonacci spiral. Something vex.
visitor? What an unexpected...
In my experience, any stranger this friendly...
Nonsense. Out here in the wilderness, we welcome all who come to our door. I'm afraid we don't get many visitors out here. The Raptidons and Marauders scare off all but the and if you've braved them, you must be exhausted. I'm sure I would remember. Now, quit fretting yourself about that.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm not real good with... It just gets hard to remember things. I recall other times it's like there's fog. That's nice of you. I usually feel better after I...
What a pleasant surprise. And just yet the eternal...
Only if you give yourself over to the plan.
By all means, just make yourself comfortable. The Eternal does not desire that we huddle and hide, crowded in by walls. Out here, we are free. And even apart from... That they do. Though it's... Look at me, prattling on as if this gravy is going to cook itself.
Oh, hi there. You know, the ones that come in a...
Doesn't sound like any medication I've heard of. No.
They don't taste very good, but they... That's... There was this other man who used to bring them. I don't know. I'm not really Mama and Papa said he came from the city. When we got sick one time, he brought those candies to make us... And they worked. Now we feel better. He said they were making us sick. Mom and Papa got real...
Some kind of off-brand drug, maybe?
They went to have a talk with him. Afterwards, they said he wasn't coming back.
Oh? Think they'll notice?
Here we go! Get away from me!
There was this... I don't know. Mama and Papa... He said... They would...
Perhaps we...
Carry on. Hey! Liar! You're trying to steal the last of my rock. The ones that come in a bottle with a rock.
I thought I'd seen the worst of humanity before.
Who does something like this?
I wonder what secrets these ruins contain.
Think they left anything good behind? cabin on one of my first ships.
The trick is not to breathe through your nose. This is the simple truth. We are all molecular machines. The body is a collection of atoms. The mind is a consequence of chemical reactions. Therefore, our lives are predestined along a path that is only visible in retrospect. Life is fated and unstoppable.
Gotta hand it to you, Max. You make my old med school lectures seem interesting.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but I'm up to my elbows in salt tuna guts. That he's got his load on and I'm stuck covering his shift? That's... wow. I sure feel like an ass now. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on Catherine herself. Still, it's good to know what happened to him. And that I ought to start looking for a replacement. Something else on your mind? Sure can. If you want to pay me... Fair enough. The damn thing's... Take the poster then. And if I...
I wonder sometimes what they're doing on other calls.
Have you had time to check on that poster yet? Would you look at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink on Mr. I can't thank you enough. Still, you can have the bits I was gonna spend at the bar this... And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker, too. Never get...
Poor Braxton. Just when I thought things couldn't get worse.
Ah, the charmer. Look, all of the...
Do your part to support. What can I? All sales are final.
Hello, dearie. What?
Quite the bedside manner.
Well, it's so rare. What can I... And what a helpful young man you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits.
Whiskey helps, too.
Please leave me... Now... I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts and the marauder filth chasing away what little our reserves have got... Isn't it? I'd make an exception for you if I could, my little cherub.
Don't blame me if I puke.
I may not be a fresh young thing anymore. Much as I'd love to. My rheumatism is... But I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. You... Oh. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Now I've gone and said too much. I'm afraid it'll be the better part of a month. Our dear Neil... Believe me, there's... Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Oh, you flatter an old woman. And to keep an extra key to the supply room. For all... The one upstairs. In the top... The graveyard's near... Do be... Chin up.
The charm. Oh.
Says someone who's never had any fun.
Exactly. See, I'm glad someone on your crew's got some sensible.
That was fast. I gotta.
You be careful. The first one's free. After. Great. Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly called. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. A few more. That said, three's all.
Mighty big gun you got there.
That's a pretty big gun for a hunter.
I don't know what the game's like on Terra 2, but out here, the daintier weapons ain't gonna cut it. Manosaurs require stopping power.
Yeah, but... What's left after you're done with it? I shipped with a merc who had a gun like yours, Nyoka. He polished it, sang to it, slept with it. Not like that, as far as I know.
Sounds like he had himself a discerning palate. Where are you going with this?
He couldn't hit the broadside of an assault cruiser, hence the tin shredder.
Wouldn't be the first man I met bearing compensation for his lack of skill.